Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Tata, the Trump regime has repeatedly attempted to reshape our federal vaccine policies in direct conflict with science and leading public health experts. Now it seems those misguided, as far as I'm concerned, policies are seeping into the military. First, Secretary Hegseth waived the COVID-19 vaccine requirements, and now, just last month, he overturned the annual flu vaccine mandate, which has been DoD policy since the early 1950s, over 70 years. Of course, there is a reason for the flu vaccine requirement. Military personnel frequently live and work in close quarters, particularly on ships, making them highly susceptible to rapid disease transmission. Secretary Taylor, do you know who funded the invention of the first flu vaccine?
Senator, thank you for the question. Thank you for the concern for our soldiers. I believe World War I was the U.S. Army created the flu vaccine. And,
yes. So the U.S. Army in the 1930s and 40s, and do you know why the Army did this?
Because they wanted to stop the spread of infectious disease.
So does that concern still not exist? Because what's going to happen when getting the flu vaccine becomes optional? In fact, what new peer-reviewed literature did the department rely on to support overturning the flu vaccine requirement? And how many service members of the millions, there are 1.8 million, 2.8 million active duty, and almost 1 million reserves and civilians within DoD. So what peer-reviewed study led to this change in the flu vaccine requirement? And how many service members do you expect will now not get the flu vaccine as a result of this optional policy?
Senator, thank you for the opportunity to comment on this. We, under the Secretary's guidance, went to the services. We asked the services to come back to us with a list of exceptions to the policy that they wish us to pursue. We are collecting those exceptions right now, and as you might expect, the services have come back with a robust set of exceptions that we are still in the pre-decisional draft stage. We're talking about submarines, we're talking about ships, we're talking about basic training, we're talking about Ranger School, we're talking about...
Just so I understand, Mr. Secretary, so these exceptions are those services who are saying that they want to continue to require people getting the flu vaccine? Are those the exceptions you're talking about?
This is in draft pre-decisional. They've come back asking for these exceptions to the policy that we will then take to the Secretary for his final approval.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you again, just so there's clarity. The exceptions are to Secretary Hegseth. These are optional. This is an optional vaccine. So the services are submitting exceptions that they want their submariners, for example, to have to get the flu vaccine. Are those the exceptions that are being gathered now?
Yes, I can't list them all for you right now, but the exceptions that we are gathering are to be able to vaccinate for flu prior to deployment on a ship, for example. But there are several other exceptions that are being requested.
Yeah, I understand. I just want to make sure that there are some services that have decided that this optional policy is going to probably affect readiness. You can't have a flu outbreak in the submarine, for example. So I think that's warranted. But you didn't mention peer-reviewed literature that led to Secretary Hegseth making this policy change to begin with. Are you aware of any peer-reviewed studies that led to this change?
Senator, what I'm aware of is the troop morale and significant backlash from the imposition from the Biden era on the COVID vaccine and the mandatory COVID vaccine and the expulsion of lots of talent for refusing to take that vaccine, that experimental vaccine that was unlawful as implemented. And so I think what the Secretary is trying to get at is restoring trust and faith, restoring the warrior ethos within the force by saying that
Okay, so he had his reasons, but they were not based on any peer-reviewed literature. It was based on there is such a thing as leadership that will say to the service members, this is for your health protection, it is science-based, et cetera, but that didn't happen.
Senator, he did it in full consultation with Health Affairs, with me, with the team, to make the best decision possible to restore trust and faith in the wake of the COVID vaccine
So
mandate.
basically, it was ideologically based, not peer review based. I have a question about women in combat. Can I continue? I can't tell from my clock whether my time is up. I think is it up? Can you? Okay, could I just mention something about women in combat? So as you know, Secretary Hegseth has asked for a review, a study on the appropriateness of women in combat roles, and you recently issued a memo mandating the review of female service members' performance in combat arms units. As you know, women can serve in combat units provided that they meet all of the physical requirements that everybody else has to meet. So I just want to ask you, should every service member, regardless of gender, be permitted to serve in any role, including the combat arms, if they meet the established standards? Yes or no?
Senator, what we are doing is reviewing the effectiveness of ground combat units that have been integrated 10 years after integration, just like we did Goldwater Nichols, just like we did Don't Ask, Don't Tell, just like we did blended retirement system.
Do you think
so
that
this is 10
anyone
years
who
later.
meets the physical requirements should be able to serve in any role to which they meet the physical and other whatever requirements there are? Yes or no? You can't seem to
I'm not
answer.
sure I understand your question, Senator.
Whether or not any, okay, we'll repeat. Should every service member, regardless of gender, be permitted to serve in any role, including the combat arms, if they meet the established standards?
The established standards, yes, Senator.
Yes, thank you.